Success isn't about luck. It's about consistency. And consistency is built on discipline. Every step taken with discipline brings you closer to your greatest self. Discipline is the invisible thread that stitches together your goals and your actions. Discipline is at the core of everything worthwhile in life. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or relying on fleeting motivation. It's about showing up every day and doing what needs to be done. But here's the question. How do you stick with it when life gets tough, distractions pop up, or progress feels slow? That's exactly what we're diving into today. In this video, we're going to uncover how discipline creates real, lasting change in every area of your life. We'll explore how the small actions you take each day add up to big results, why discipline outweighs motivation, and how it empowers you to take control of your time, your choices, and your future. If you've ever struggled to stay consistent or wondered why some people seem unstoppable while others fall behind, you'll find answers here. By the end, you'll have the tools and mindset to make discipline your greatest ally. So stay with me. It could be the most important shift you'll ever make. Number 1, the power of small daily actions. Every big achievement in life begins with small, consistent steps. This is the power of small daily actions, and it's the foundation of discipline. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that success requires dramatic, life-altering moves. But in truth, it's the small, seemingly insignificant choices we make each day that shape our lives in the long run. Think about this. A single drop of water doesn't seem like much, but over time, those drops can carve out canyons. That's what small daily actions do. They build momentum, create progress, and lead to transformation. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the enormity of your goals, it's because you're looking at the end result rather than the process. Instead of asking, how do I achieve something massive? Ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goal? Discipline starts with these daily decisions. It's waking up in the morning and choosing to follow through, even when it feels easier not to. It's saying yes to actions that align with your vision and no to distractions that pull you away from it. These choices might not feel significant in the moment, but over time they compound. And that's where the magic happens. Consistency turns effort into habit, and habits turn into results. Let's break this down. Suppose you want to improve your health. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle overnight. Start small. Drink a glass of water first thing in the morning. Take a 10-minute walk. Choose one healthy meal a day. These actions might seem minor, but over time they add up. The walk turns into a run. The single healthy meal turns into an overall better diet. The daily choices become a part of who you are. And before you know it, your health improves. Not because of one big decision, but because of the consistent small actions you took every day. The same principle applies to every area of your life. Want to advance your career? Commit to learning something new every day, even reading for 15 minutes. Watching an educational video or practicing a skill consistently can set you apart. Want to strengthen your relationships? Start by sending a kind message or making a small gesture of appreciation. These small actions create a ripple effect, influencing not only the person you're becoming, but also how others perceive and respond to you. The beauty of small daily actions is that they're manageable. They don't require massive amounts of time or energy, and they don't overwhelm you. You don't have to figure out everything all at once. You just need to focus on what you can do right now. Discipline is built in these moments, in the small, consistent decisions that align with your long-term goals. But here's the key. You have to be intentional. It's not enough to hope for change or to wait for motivation. You need a plan. Set clear, achievable goals and break them down into daily actions. Write them down. Track your progress. Celebrate the small wins along the way. These victories might seem minor, but they reinforce your discipline and give you the confidence to keep going. It's also important to be patient. Results don't happen overnight, and that's okay. What matters is that you're moving forward, even if the progress feels slow. Trust the process. Understand that every small action you take is a step closer to your goal. Discipline is about showing up, day after day, even when you don't see immediate results. It's about believing in the power of consistency and staying committed to the journey. Another critical aspect of small daily actions is their ability to create momentum. Have you ever noticed how one good decision leads to another? When you start your day with discipline, whether it's exercising, planning your tasks, or eating a healthy breakfast, it sets the tone for the rest of the day. That initial action gives you a sense of accomplishment and encourages you to keep going. Momentum is a powerful force, and it starts with small actions. Discipline isn't about perfection. It's not about never making mistakes or always getting it right. It's about persistence. It's about continuing to take small steps, even when you stumble. If you miss a day, don't let it derail you. Get back on track. The key is to focus on progress, not perfection. Remember, it's the cumulative effect of your actions that creates change. One of the most rewarding aspects of small daily actions is how they build self-trust. Every time you follow through on a commitment, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you can be disciplined. You start to see yourself as someone who takes action, who sticks to their word, and who follows through. This shift in identity is powerful. It changes the way you think about yourself and strengthens your belief in your ability to succeed. Finally, remember that discipline and small daily actions are a gift you give to yourself. They're an investment in your future. The effort you put in today might not pay off immediately, but it will pay off. Whether it's better health, stronger relationships, financial security, or personal growth, the rewards of discipline are worth it. Every action you take is a step closer to the life you want to create. Number 2. Discipline as a tool for freedom. Discipline is a word many people associate with restriction, rules, or even sacrifice. But the truth is, discipline is one of the most powerful tools for achieving true freedom in life. That might sound contradictory at first, but let's take a closer look at what freedom really means. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want, whenever you want. That kind of freedom often leads to chaos, missed opportunities, unfinished goals, and a life that feels out of control. Real freedom comes from having the ability to shape your life the way you want it to be. And that kind of freedom requires discipline. Let's break it down. Think about any area of life where you want more freedom. Financial, physical, emotional, or even time. Without discipline, those freedoms aren't possible. Take financial freedom, for example. Most people dream of living without the stress of debt, being able to afford what they need and want without worry. But financial freedom doesn't just happen. It starts with disciplined choices. It starts with saying, I'll spend less than I earn. I'll save a portion of every paycheck. I'll invest in my future. These decisions might feel restrictive in the moment, but over time they open up a world of possibilities. They give you the freedom to live without constant financial stress, to pursue opportunities, to support the people and causes that matter to you. The same is true for physical freedom. Imagine being able to move through life without pain or fatigue, to enjoy activities with your loved ones, or to feel strong and capable in your own body. That kind of freedom comes from discipline, choosing nourishing foods, making time for exercise, prioritizing rest. These daily habits don't limit your life. They expand it. They give you the energy and strength to do the things you love. Now let's talk about time freedom. Time is the one resource we all have in equal measure, but how we use it determines whether we feel free or trapped. Without discipline, time slips away. Hours turn into days, days into weeks, and suddenly you're looking back, wondering where it all went. Discipline helps you take control of your time. It helps you focus on what matters most, eliminate distractions, and create space for the things that truly bring you joy and fulfillment. Discipline isn't about depriving yourself. It's about aligning your actions with your values and goals. It's about creating structure so that you can live the life you want, not the life that happens by default. Let me share a simple example. Imagine someone who wants to write a book. Without discipline, they might wait for inspiration to strike, but weeks or months could pass without any progress. With discipline, they set a schedule, maybe 30 minutes of writing every morning. That structure might feel rigid at first, but over time it leads to the freedom of expression, the joy of seeing their ideas come to life on the page. Discipline also protects you from the trap of short-term gratification. It's easy to get caught up in what feels good right now, spending money impulsively, skipping a workout, procrastinating on important tasks. But those moments of instant gratification often come at a cost. Discipline helps you prioritize long-term rewards over fleeting pleasures. And those long-term rewards are where real freedom lies. One of the most important aspects of discipline as a tool for freedom is self-mastery. When you have discipline, you're in control of your choices, your habits, your reactions. You're not a prisoner to impulses or circumstances. You're the one steering the ship. And that sense of control is incredibly empowering. It allows you to face challenges with confidence, to navigate setbacks without losing sight of your goals. Here's another way to think about it. Discipline creates options. When you practice discipline in one area, it opens up possibilities in others. For example, saving money doesn't just give you financial security. It gives you the freedom to travel, to start a business, to retire early if you choose. Taking care of your health doesn't just make you feel better today. It gives you the freedom to enjoy an active, vibrant life for years to come. But here's the thing, discipline isn't always easy. It requires effort, commitment, and sometimes sacrifice. There will be days when it feels hard, when you're tempted to take the easy way out. In those moments, it's important to remind yourself of why you started. Think about the freedom you're working toward. Picture the life you want to create. And remember that every disciplined choice brings you one step closer to that vision. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who support your journey. Discipline doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a community, having people who encourage you, hold you accountable, and celebrate your progress can make a huge difference. And let's not forget about celebrating your own wins. Every time you practice discipline, you're proving to yourself that you're capable of achieving your goals. Take a moment to acknowledge that. Recognize the effort you're putting in and the progress you're making. Those small victories build momentum, and that momentum makes discipline feel less like a chore and more like a source of pride. Now, I want you to think about one area of your life where you want more freedom. Maybe it's financial, or physical, or something else entirely. Ask yourself, what disciplined actions can I take today to move closer to that freedom? It doesn't have to be a big dramatic change. Start small. Start with one step, and then take another tomorrow. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about choosing day after day to invest in the life you want to create. And as you do, you'll discover that discipline doesn't limit your freedom. It unlocks it. Number 3, why motivation alone isn't enough. Motivation is a word that gets thrown around a lot. People say, I just need to get motivated, or once I find the motivation, I'll start. It sounds good in theory, doesn't it? But the reality is that motivation alone isn't enough to create lasting change or achieve meaningful success. Motivation is like a spark. It gets you started. It feels exciting and inspiring in the moment. But here's the problem. Sparks fade. They don't last. And if you're waiting for motivation to stick around and carry you through the hard work, you'll be waiting a long time. Let's think about what motivation really is. It's a feeling, an emotional surge that pushes you to take action. Maybe you watched a powerful video or listened to an inspiring speech, and you felt ready to conquer the world. That's great. But what happens the next day when the excitement wears off? What happens when you wake up tired, or when the work gets challenging? That's where discipline comes in. The truth is, motivation is unreliable. It's unpredictable. It comes and goes. You can't build a successful life on something that isn't consistent. But discipline is steady. It's the engine that keeps you moving forward, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Let me share an example. Imagine someone who decides they want to start working out. So one day they feel motivated. They're excited to hit the gym, so they do. They leave feeling great, full of energy, and they think, this is it. I'm going to do this every day. But the next morning it's raining, and they don't feel like getting out of bed. The excitement they felt the day before is gone. Without discipline, that's where the journey ends. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't rely on how you feel in the moment. Discipline says, this is what I've committed to, and I'm going to follow through no matter what. Discipline is what gets you out of bed on the rainy days. It's what keeps you going when the excitement fades, when the work feels hard, or when progress seems slow. Motivation is like a flame, but discipline is like a foundation. You can't build a house on a flame, but you can build on a strong foundation. That's why the most successful people in any field rely on discipline, not motivation, to achieve their goals. Now let's address another issue with motivation. Motivation often depends on external factors, something outside of yourself to inspire you. Maybe it's a quote, a video, or someone else's story. Those things can be helpful, but they're not under your control. If you're always looking for something outside of yourself to get you moving, you're giving up your power. So one-day discipline, however, comes from within. It's something you create. It's the promises you make to yourself and the actions you take to keep those promises. When you develop discipline, you're no longer at the mercy of how you feel or what's happening around you. You're in control. There's another reason why motivation alone isn't enough. It often fades when things get difficult. Let's be honest. Anything worth achieving will come with challenges. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and days when you don't feel like putting in the work. Motivation is great for starting, but it rarely sticks around when the going gets tough. Discipline, on the other hand, thrives in difficult times. It's what allows you to push through challenges, to keep going even when it feels hard, and to stay focused on your goals no matter what's happening around you. Another problem with motivation is that it can trick you into thinking that action depends on inspiration. But the reality is the opposite. Action creates momentum, and momentum often creates motivation. If you're waiting to feel motivated before you act, you might never get started. But if you take action, even when you don't feel like it, you'll often find that motivation follows. Here's a simple example. Let's say you're not feeling motivated to clean your home, but you decide to start anyway, just for 5 minutes. You pick up one thing, then another, and before you know it, you're in the zone. The action created the momentum, and the momentum created motivation. This is why discipline is so powerful. It helps you take that first step, even when you're not feeling inspired. And once you start, the process often becomes easier. Discipline also gives you a sense of control and confidence that motivation can't provide. When you rely on motivation, you're at its mercy. But when you rely on discipline, you're in charge. You know you can trust yourself to follow through. No matter what, that self-trust is incredibly empowering. So how do you shift from relying on motivation to building discipline? It starts with commitment. Decide what's important to you and why. Be clear about your goals and the reasons behind them. Then create a plan, a simple, realistic plan that you can stick to. Next, focus on consistency over perfection. You don't need to be perfect to be disciplined. What matters is showing up, day after day, even when it's hard. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and remind yourself that every step forward is a step closer to your goal. It's also important to prepare for the days when you don't feel like it. Those days will come, and that's okay. What matters is how you respond. Have a plan in place for those moments. Maybe it's a simple mantra. I don't have to feel like it. I just have to start. Maybe it's setting a timer for 10 minutes and committing to do what you can in that time. Finally, remember that discipline isn't a punishment. It's a gift you give yourself. It's the tool that allows you to create the life you want. It's what helps you achieve your goals, build your confidence, and live with purpose and intention. Motivation is a great starting point, but it's not enough to sustain you. Discipline is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. It's what keeps you moving forward, no matter what. Number 4, taking responsibility for your life. Taking responsibility for your life is one of the most empowering decisions you'll ever make. It's the moment you stop waiting for someone else to save you, for circumstances to change, or for life to become easier. Instead, you decide to take control, to own your actions, your choices, and your future. Now, let's be honest, this isn't always an easy thing to do. It's much more comfortable to point fingers, to blame your situation, your past, or other people. But here's the hard truth. As long as you're blaming something or someone else, you're giving away your power. You're saying, this is out of my control. But what happens when you take responsibility? Everything changes. You reclaim your power. You realize that while you can't control everything that happens to you, you can control how you respond and your response. That's where your life is shaped. Taking responsibility starts with understanding this. Where you are today is the result of choices you've made in the past. That can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's also incredibly freeing. Because if your past choices brought you here, your future choices can take you somewhere better. Think about the most successful people you know. They didn't get there by luck or by waiting for someone else to pave the way. They got there by taking ownership of their decisions, their habits, and their actions. They didn't make excuses. They made changes. When you take responsibility for your life, you stop playing the victim. You stop saying, I can't because, and start asking, how can I? You shift from seeing problems to finding solutions. You take control of what you can, and you let go of what you can't. But here's the thing. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. Life will throw challenges at you, things you didn't ask for, things you didn't cause. Taking responsibility means accepting those challenges and deciding how you're going to move forward. It means saying, this is my life, and I'm going to make the most of it, no matter what. Let's take an example. Imagine someone stuck in a job they hate. They could spend years complaining about their boss, their coworkers, or the lack of opportunities. Or they could take responsibility. They could ask, What skills do I need to learn to move on? What steps can I take to create a better future for myself? The first mindset keeps them stuck. The second one gives them power. Taking responsibility also means owning your time. How many times have you heard someone say, "I don't have time for that"? But the truth is, we all have the same 24 hours in a day. The difference is how we use them. When you take responsibility, you stop saying, "I don't have time," and start saying, "That's not a priority for me right now." It's a simple shift, but it forces you to own your choices. This mindset applies to every area of your life. If your health isn't where you want it to be, ask yourself, what changes can I make? If your relationships aren't fulfilling, ask, how can I show up differently? If your finances are a mess, ask, what steps can I take to improve? It's not about perfection, it's about progress. One of the most powerful things about taking responsibility is that it puts you in the driver's seat. You're no longer waiting for life to happen to you. You're making life happen, and that's a game changer. Now let's address something important. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you have to do it all alone. Part of owning your life is recognizing when you need help and being willing to ask for it. Whether it's learning from a mentor, seeking support from friends or family, or investing in your education, taking responsibility means doing what it takes to move forward. Another key part of taking responsibility is learning to let go of excuses. Excuses are comforting. They give you a reason not to try, but they also keep you stuck. Every time you say, "I can't," because you're closing the door on possibility. When you take responsibility, you stop making excuses and start taking action. Here's a truth that might make you uncomfortable. No one is coming to save you. No one else is going to make your dreams happen. That's your job. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can start creating the life you want. Taking responsibility also means accepting failure. Because let's be real, failure is part of the process. When you take ownership of your life, you don't run from failure. You learn from it. You ask, what can I do differently next time? And then you try again. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone to it. Now let's talk about the emotional side of this. Taking responsibility can be tough. It means confronting uncomfortable truths, admitting where you've fallen short, and facing the fear of change. But it's also incredibly rewarding, because when you take responsibility, you stop feeling like a victim of your circumstances. You start feeling like the creator of your life. And that feeling, that's freedom. So how do you start? First, take an honest look at where you are. What areas of your life are you happy with? What areas aren't working? Be honest with yourself, but don't judge yourself. This isn't about blame, it's about awareness. Next, ask yourself, what can I do to improve this? Start small. Focus on one area at a time. Maybe it's your health, your finances, or your relationships. Whatever it is, commit to taking one small step each day to move in the right direction. Number 5, the ripple effect of discipline. Discipline doesn't just affect the individual practicing it. It creates a ripple effect, touching every aspect of your life and the lives of those around you. It's like dropping a stone into a calm pond. That single act of discipline sends waves outward, shaping your habits, relationships, opportunities, and even your legacy. Let's start with the first ripple, self-respect. Every time you practice discipline, whether it's sticking to your schedule, keeping a promise to yourself, or following through on a goal, you're telling yourself, I'm worth it. You're proving to yourself that you can trust your own word, and that builds a foundation of confidence and self-belief. When you consistently act with discipline, you start to see yourself differently. You stop feeling like someone who's controlled by impulses or distractions, and start seeing yourself as someone who's in control. That sense of control transforms how you carry yourself, how you approach challenges, and how you respond to setbacks. The next ripple, your habits. Discipline shapes your daily routines, and those routines determine your results. Think about it. Small actions repeated over time lead to big outcomes. Whether it's exercising regularly, saving money, or improving your skills, discipline is what makes progress possible. Let's say you commit to reading for 20 minutes a day. At first, it might not seem like much, but over a month, that's 600 minutes of learning. Over a year, it's over 7,000 minutes. That's the power of disciplined habits. They accumulate, compounding into something far greater than the sum of their parts. And when your habits change, so does your life. Suddenly you're healthier, more knowledgeable, or more productive. Those changes don't happen by chance. They're the result of disciplined actions taken consistently over time. But the ripple effect doesn't stop with you. Discipline also affects your relationships. When you're disciplined, you're more reliable. You show up when you say you will. You keep your commitments, and that builds trust. Think about the people in your life who you admire most. Chances are, they're people who live with integrity. They follow through on their promises. They lead by example. That's the kind of person discipline allows you to become. And when you show up as that kind of person, you inspire others to do the same. The ripple effect of discipline can also be seen in your opportunities. When you're disciplined, you create momentum. You get things done. You build a track record of success, and people notice. Imagine an employer who has to choose between two candidates. One is talented but inconsistent. They deliver great work sometimes, but they often miss deadlines. The other candidate might have less raw talent, but they're disciplined. They show up, they put in the effort, and they follow through. Who do you think gets the job? The same principle applies in every area of life. Discipline makes you dependable, and dependability opens doors, whether it's a promotion at work, a new partnership, or a chance to take on a meaningful project. Disciplined people create opportunities for themselves. Discipline also ripples into your ability to handle adversity. Life will challenge you. There's no avoiding that. But when you're disciplined, you're better equipped to face those challenges. You've built the habits, the mindset, and the resilience to keep going, even when things get tough. For example, imagine someone who's disciplined in their health. They eat well, exercise regularly, and take care of their body. If they face a health scare, they're starting from a place of strength. Their discipline gives them a better chance of recovery. Now let's look at the wider impact the ripple effect discipline can have on the people around you. When you live with discipline, you set an example. Whether you realize it or not, people are watching. Your friends, your family, your colleagues. They see how you live, and when they see you consistently making good choices, they're inspired to do the same. Maybe your commitment to fitness encourages a friend to start exercising. Maybe your dedication to learning motivates a colleague to pick up a book. Or maybe your disciplined approach to finances helps a family member rethink their spending habits. The beauty of the ripple effect is that it often happens quietly. You might not even realize the impact you're having, but your discipline is creating waves. Now think even bigger. Discipline doesn't just affect the people you know, it can impact your community, your industry, or even the world. Some of the greatest innovations, movements, and achievements in history started with one person's discipline. Take someone like Thomas Edison. He didn't invent the light bulb by accident. It took years of disciplined experimentation, failure, and persistence. But his discipline didn't just benefit him, it changed the world. Or consider someone like Mother Teresa. Her disciplined commitment to serving others didn't just impact the people she helped directly. It inspired countless others to give, to serve, and to make a difference. You might not think of yourself as someone who could change the world, but the truth is, you don't have to start big. Start small. Start with yourself. Because the better you become, the more you have to give. And when you give your best to the world, the ripple effect is limitless. Finally, let's talk about legacy. Discipline isn't just about what you achieve in your lifetime. It's about the impact you leave behind. When you live with discipline, you set a standard. You show others what's possible. And that legacy can inspire generations to come. Imagine a parent who instills discipline in their children, not by lecturing, but by living it. Those children grow up with a model of what it means to be committed, consistent, and responsible. They carry those lessons into their own lives, and they pass them on to their children. That's the ripple effect in action. Discipline might seem like a small thing, a choice you make in a single moment, but it's so much more than that. It's a force that shapes your life, your relationships, your opportunities, and your impact on the world. Number 6, self-respect through discipline. Self-respect is one of the most powerful qualities a person can have, but it's not something you're born with. It's something you earn, and one of the most effective ways to earn it is through discipline. Discipline at its core is about honoring the commitments you make to yourself. It's about proving to yourself day by day that you are someone who can be trusted, relied upon, and respected. Think about the moments when you felt proud of yourself. Chances are those moments came after you followed through on something challenging. Maybe it was completing a project, hitting a fitness goal, or sticking to a plan even when it was hard. That pride wasn't just about the achievement. It was about knowing you did what you said you would do. That's self-respect. Discipline is the foundation of self-respect because it aligns your actions with your values. When you say, "I'm going to do this," and you actually do it, you're reinforcing your integrity. You're showing yourself that your word matters. And when your word matters to you, it starts to matter to everyone else too. Let's take a closer look at how discipline builds self-respect. First, it creates consistency. Self-respect isn't built in a single moment. It's built over time. It's the result of countless small decisions to stay committed, even when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, or difficult. Each of those decisions adds a brick to the foundation of your self-respect. Imagine you set a goal to wake up early and exercise every morning. The first day, it's exciting. The second day, it's manageable. But by the third or fourth day, your bed feels a lot more appealing than the treadmill. This is where discipline comes in. When you push yourself to get up and move, even when you don't feel like it, you're not just building physical strength, you're building mental strength. You're proving to yourself that you can rise above excuses and follow through on your commitments. Another way discipline builds self-respect is by helping you set boundaries. When you're disciplined, you're better at saying no to things that don't align with your goals or values. That might mean saying no to staying out late so you can wake up early, saying no to unnecessary spending so you can save for something important, or saying no to distractions so you can focus on your work. Every time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to yourself. You're prioritizing your own well-being, growth, and success. And that's one of the most powerful ways to show your self-respect. Discipline also teaches you to value your time. When you're disciplined, you recognize that your time is your most precious resource. You stop wasting it on things that don't matter, and you start using it to create the life you want. This shift in mindset changes how you see yourself. You stop feeling like a victim of circumstance and start feeling like the architect of your own life. Now let's talk about the emotional side of self-respect. When you're disciplined, you feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. That feeling is priceless. It's not about ego or arrogance. It's about knowing that you're living in alignment with your values. It's about feeling good in your own skin because you know you're doing your best. But discipline isn't just about doing the hard things. It's also about taking care of yourself. It's about recognizing that self-respect comes from treating yourself with kindness, compassion, and care. That means making time for rest, setting realistic goals, and celebrating your progress along the way. For example, let's say you've been working hard on a project. Discipline doesn't mean pushing yourself to the point of burnout. It means setting boundaries, taking breaks, and recognizing when you need to recharge. When you take care of yourself, you're showing yourself respect. You're saying, "I matter, my health and well-being are important." One of the most transformative aspects of discipline is that it changes how you see challenges. Instead of avoiding them, you start to embrace them. You see them as opportunities to grow, to learn, and to prove to yourself what you're capable of. Imagine you're faced with a tough decision. Maybe it's sticking to a budget, having a difficult conversation, or pushing through a workout. At that moment, you have a choice. You can take the easy way out, or you can take the disciplined path. And every time you choose discipline, you're reinforcing your self-respect. You're showing yourself that you have what it takes to handle whatever comes your way. Discipline also helps you recover from mistakes. Let's be real, nobody's perfect. You're going to slip up. You're going to have days when you don't follow through. But discipline teaches you to own those mistakes, learn from them, and get back on track. That's self-respect, not letting one bad day turn into a bad week, month, or year. And here's something important to remember. Self-respect isn't about being perfect. It's about progress. It's about showing up for yourself, day after day, even when it's hard. It's about giving yourself grace when you fall short and celebrating every step forward. So how do you cultivate self-respect through discipline? Start small. Pick one area of your life where you want to be more disciplined. Maybe it's your health, your finances, or your personal growth. Set a specific goal and commit to taking consistent action. Next, hold yourself accountable. Track your progress, celebrate your wins, and be honest with yourself about where you can improve. Accountability isn't about beating yourself up. It's about staying committed to your growth. Finally, surround yourself with people who inspire you to be disciplined. Whether it's a mentor, a friend, or a community, having support makes a huge difference. When you see others living with discipline and self-respect, It motivates you to do the same. Self-respect is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, and discipline is the path to earning it. When you live with discipline, you're not just achieving goals, you're becoming the kind of person you're proud to be. You're building a life that reflects your values, your potential, and your worth. Number 7, discipline and time management. Time is the most precious resource you have. You can't buy it, trade it, or get it back once it's gone. Every single person, no matter who they are, gets the same 24 hours in a day. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle often comes down to one thing: how they manage their time. And at the heart of effective time management is discipline. Discipline and time management are inseparable. Without discipline, time slips through your fingers, lost to distractions, procrastination, and inefficiency. But with discipline, you take control of your days, your schedule, and ultimately, your life. Let's start by understanding why time management is so essential. Time isn't just minutes and hours, it's your life. How you spend your time determines what you achieve, who you become, and the legacy you leave behind. Time management isn't just about squeezing more into your day. It's about making sure you're spending your time on what truly matters. Discipline is what allows you to prioritize. It's what helps you say, this is what's important, and I'm going to focus on it. Without discipline, it's easy to get caught up in things that don't move you closer to your goals. Scrolling through social media, binge-watching shows, or wasting hours on tasks that don't align with your priorities. One of the most powerful ways to practice discipline in time management is by setting clear goals. If you don't know what you're working toward, it's easy to drift through your days without purpose. But when you have a goal, a vision for what you want to achieve, you can use discipline to stay focused on it. For example, let's say your goal is to start a business. That's a big undertaking, and it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But with discipline, you can break it down into smaller, manageable steps. Maybe today your task is to research your market. Tomorrow it's to write a business plan. Each day you commit to taking one step forward. Now let's talk about planning. Discipline is what turns a plan into action. It's not enough to write out a to-do list or schedule your day. You have to follow through. That means doing what you said you'd do, even when it's inconvenient or you don't feel like it. For instance, if you've scheduled an hour in the morning to work on a project, discipline means sticking to that plan. It means saying no to distractions, no to excuses, and yes to the commitment you've made to yourself. Discipline also helps you avoid the trap of busyness. Being busy isn't the same as being productive. You can fill your day with tasks and still feel like you're not getting anywhere. Discipline is what allows you to focus on the tasks that matter most, the ones that align with your goals and create real progress. One of the most effective tools for disciplined time management is the concept of time blocking. Time blocking means scheduling specific blocks of time for specific tasks. Instead of reacting to whatever comes your way, you're proactively deciding how to spend your time. For example, you might block off the first hour of your day for deep work, tasks that require focus and creativity. Then you might schedule time for meetings, followed by a block for emails or administrative tasks. By using time blocks, you're creating a structure for your day that helps you stay disciplined and focused. Another important aspect of discipline in time management is learning to say no. Your time is limited, and every yes to one thing is a no to something else. Discipline means being selective about how you spend your time. If someone asks you to take on a task that doesn't align with your priorities, discipline allows you to say, I can't commit to that right now. If you're tempted to stay up late watching TV, discipline reminds you that getting enough sleep is more important. Each time you say no to something that doesn't serve you, you're saying yes to your goals and values. Let's not overlook the role of discipline in minimizing distractions. We live in a world full of interruptions, notifications, emails, phone calls, and more. Discipline is what allows you to create boundaries and protect your focus. One way to do this is by creating a dedicated workspace, free from distractions. Turn off notifications, close unnecessary tabs, and let the people around you know when you need uninterrupted time. These small actions, driven by discipline, can have a huge impact on your productivity. Now let's address procrastination. We've all been there, putting off a task because it feels too hard, too boring, or too overwhelming. Discipline is the antidote to procrastination. It's what helps you take that first step, even when you don't feel motivated. Here's a simple strategy. Start small. If a task feels overwhelming, break it down into the smallest possible step and commit to doing just that. Often, once you get started, momentum takes over and it becomes easier to keep going. Discipline in time management also means building routines. Routines create consistency, and consistency creates results. For example, if you have a morning routine that includes exercise, planning your day, and working on your most important task, you're setting yourself up for success. Finally, discipline helps you reflect and adjust. Time management isn't about sticking rigidly to a plan. It's about being intentional and adaptable. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect. What went well? What could you improve? Discipline is what allows you to learn from your experiences and continuously refine your approach. When you manage your time with discipline, you're not just achieving more, you're living more intentionally. You're taking control of your days, aligning your actions with your values, and creating a life that reflects your true potential. Number 8, the emotional reward of discipline. Discipline doesn't just shape your habits or guide your actions. It also transforms the way you feel about yourself and your life. Often overlooked, the emotional rewards of discipline are some of the most profound benefits you'll experience. It's not just about achieving external success. It's about cultivating inner peace, pride, and a deep sense of fulfillment. When you think of discipline, you might associate it with effort, sacrifice, or even discomfort. And yes, discipline can be challenging. But what lies on the other side of that challenge is a set of emotions that make the process worthwhile. The emotional rewards of discipline are what keep you going, even when things get tough. Let's begin with one of the most immediate emotional benefits: confidence. When you're disciplined, you begin to trust yourself. You say, "I'm going to do this," and then you do it. That simple act builds an unshakable belief in your ability to follow through. Each time you honor a commitment to yourself, your confidence grows. You start to see yourself as someone who can set goals, tackle challenges, and achieve what you set out to do. Confidence born from discipline isn't just surface level. It's deeply rooted in action. It's not about pretending to feel capable. It's about proving to yourself, through your own efforts, that you are capable. That kind of confidence radiates into every area of your life. It changes the way you carry yourself, the way you approach challenges, and the way you interact with others. Another powerful emotional reward of discipline is pride. There's nothing quite like the feeling of accomplishing something you worked hard for. It's not about arrogance or showing off. It's about the quiet, personal satisfaction of knowing you gave your best effort. Whether it's sticking to a workout routine, finishing a big project, or overcoming a bad habit, the pride you feel is a reflection of your hard work and perseverance. Discipline also brings a sense of peace. When you're disciplined, you take control of your life. You're no longer living in reaction to everything around you. You're living with intention. That sense of control creates emotional stability. You stop worrying about things you can't change and focus on what you can. You stop feeling overwhelmed by the chaos of life and start feeling empowered by your own ability to create order. Peace also comes from knowing you're living in alignment with your values. When your actions reflect what truly matters to you, there's no internal conflict. You're not torn between what you want to do and what you know you should do. Instead, you're living a life that feels authentic and meaningful. Let's talk about the emotional reward of resilience. Discipline teaches you to face challenges head-on. It shows you that you can handle discomfort, push through obstacles, and come out stronger on the other side. That resilience creates a sense of emotional strength. You stop fearing failure because you know you have the discipline to get back up and try again. You stop doubting yourself because you've proven time and time again that you're capable of overcoming adversity. One of the most surprising emotional rewards of discipline is joy. At first glance, joy might seem unrelated to discipline. But when you think about it, the connection becomes clear. Joy comes from growth, from progress, from becoming the best version of yourself. And discipline is what drives that growth. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you feel a spark of joy. It's the joy of knowing you're moving closer to your goals. the joy of seeing your hard work pay off, and the joy of realizing your potential. Gratitude is another emotional reward of discipline. When you're disciplined, you start to appreciate the little things. You appreciate the effort you've put in, the progress you've made, and the opportunities you've created for yourself. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have. It helps you see the value in your efforts and the blessings in your life. Discipline also fosters a sense of purpose. When you're disciplined, you're not just going through the motions. You're working towards something meaningful. That sense of purpose gives your life direction. It gives you a reason to get up in the morning, to push through challenges, and to keep striving for more. Purpose is one of the most powerful emotions you can experience, and discipline is what helps you find and fulfill it. Let's not forget about the emotional reward of respect, both self-respect and the respect of others. Discipline earns respect because it's a reflection of character. When you're disciplined, people see that you're reliable, committed, and driven. But more importantly, you earn your own respect. You start to see yourself as someone worthy of success, happiness, and fulfillment. Lastly, discipline creates a sense of freedom. This might seem counterintuitive. After all, discipline is often associated with rules and restrictions. But true freedom comes from discipline. When you're disciplined, you're free from the chaos of procrastination, the burden of unfinished tasks, and the regret of wasted time. You're free to live the life you want because you've done the work to create it. So how do you tap into these emotional rewards? It starts with taking action. Discipline isn't something you wait for. It's something you cultivate, one choice at a time. Start small. Choose one area of your life where you want to be more disciplined and commit to taking consistent action. Each time you follow through, you'll feel a little more confident, a little more proud, and a little more at peace. Number 9, discipline in health and wellness. Health and wellness are the cornerstones of a thriving life. Without a strong body, clear mind, and balanced well-being, it's difficult to perform at your best, to pursue your dreams, or to enjoy life to the fullest. But achieving lasting health isn't just about good intentions or short bursts of motivation. It's about discipline. Discipline is the key that unlocks your ability to maintain and improve your health day after day. Discipline in health and wellness is not just about exercising regularly or eating the right foods. It's about making choices consistently that align with your long-term well-being. Discipline is what helps you build lasting habits. Even when it's easier to skip a workout or indulge in unhealthy foods, it's about showing up for yourself, no matter how you feel. The first way discipline impacts your health is through consistency. When it comes to fitness, health isn't built in a single workout or in one day of eating clean. It's built in the small, consistent choices you make every day. Skipping a workout here and there or choosing unhealthy foods now and then can easily add up over time. But so can the positive habits you build with discipline. Let's say you commit to exercising 3 times a week. It might seem easy at first, but as the weeks go on, it's going to take discipline to stay consistent. Some days you'll be tired, some days you won't feel like working out, but that's where discipline comes in. When you push through those moments, even when your motivation is low, you're building strength, not just in your body, but in your character. Over time, this consistency leads to real results. Discipline in health also means being mindful of your food choices. You're not going to eat perfectly every single day, and that's okay. But discipline means being intentional about what you put into your body, understanding the impact that food has on your energy, mood, and overall health. It's about making the choice to nourish your body with good foods, even when temptation or convenience might steer you elsewhere. That doesn't mean you have to completely cut out treats or indulge in extreme diets. Balance is key, but discipline helps you find that balance. It allows you to enjoy what you love without going overboard, and to prioritize nutrition when it matters most. For example, you might choose to have a healthier lunch so you don't feel sluggish in the afternoon, or you may decide to skip dessert so you can feel better the next day. It's these small, consistent decisions that add up to a healthier lifestyle. One of the most challenging aspects of health is maintaining the mental discipline to stick with it over time. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see instant results, or when life gets in the way. But discipline is what keeps you moving forward, even when the progress isn't as fast as you'd like. It's about trusting the process and committing to doing what you can today, knowing that the results will come over time. That mental discipline goes hand in hand with the emotional discipline required to deal with setbacks. If you've ever tried to live a healthier lifestyle, you know that it's not a smooth, uninterrupted journey. There are days when you fall short, when you eat something you shouldn't, or skip a workout, and that's okay. What matters is your ability to get back on track, to let go of any guilt or frustration, and to move forward without giving up entirely. Discipline is about building resilience in the face of challenges. In addition to building resilience, discipline plays a huge role in reducing stress. When you exercise regularly, eat well, and sleep enough, your body and mind are better equipped to handle stress. But these healthy habits don't happen by accident. They happen through disciplined choices. By making time to take care of your health, you're not only preventing future health issues, but you're also creating a strong foundation for mental and emotional well-being. Sleep, in particular, is one area where discipline is incredibly important. The world today is full of distractions, screens, work, and social commitments that can easily rob us of sleep. But discipline means creating a consistent bedtime routine and sticking to it, even when other things try to pull you away from it. Quality sleep is essential for recovery, focus, and emotional balance. So making it a priority is a form of self-respect that pays off in every area of life. Discipline in health also means taking preventative care seriously. It's easy to ignore minor aches and pains or to skip regular checkups, but discipline helps you prioritize your health over time. It's about being proactive, going for regular checkups, staying on top of screenings, and addressing health issues before they become bigger problems. By investing time in taking care of yourself, you're avoiding larger health issues down the line and ensuring that your body stays in top condition. One of the emotional benefits of discipline in health is the confidence that comes with knowing you're taking care of yourself. When you stick to a healthy routine, you begin to feel stronger, more energized, and more capable. You start to carry yourself differently. You feel proud of your choices, not just because of how you look, but because of the way you're honoring your body and your life. That kind of confidence, rooted in disciplined actions, is more fulfilling than any fleeting physical result. Another emotional benefit is the sense of empowerment. When you take control of your health, you're taking control of your life. You're no longer at the mercy of your habits, your environment, or your circumstances. Discipline in health is the key to breaking through barriers and taking ownership of your physical and mental well-being. It empowers you to feel like you're living with purpose, knowing that each day you're working toward becoming a better, healthier version of yourself. Discipline in health isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's not about being rigid or extreme. It's about making consistent, intentional choices that contribute to your overall well-being. It's about knowing that every small action you take in the right direction has a cumulative effect. So how do you incorporate discipline into your health and wellness journey? Start by setting clear, realistic goals. Whether it's exercising a certain number of days a week, eating more fruits and vegetables, or getting enough sleep, define what you want to achieve. Then break it down into actionable steps that you can follow through on. Hold yourself accountable, track your progress, and make adjustments as needed. Number 10. Final call to action: discipline is not just a word, it's a lifestyle, a choice, and a commitment to becoming the best version of yourself. Every moment of your life presents you with a choice to act in alignment with your goals or to let them slip further out of reach. The decisions you make today will shape the person you become tomorrow. That's the power of discipline. It's not about dramatic transformations overnight, but about the consistent, deliberate choices that pave the way to greatness. As we come to the end of this journey together, I want you to reflect on everything we've discussed. Discipline is the cornerstone of progress. It's the force that takes your dreams from ideas floating in your mind and transforms them into reality. But now, it's time for action. It's time to take everything you've learned and apply it. Not just today, not just tomorrow, but every single day. Because discipline doesn't happen in bursts. It happens in moments, repeated over time. Right now, I want you to take responsibility for your life. Look at where you are, look at where you want to be, and understand that the only thing standing between the two is consistent action. No one else can do this for you. Your success, your growth, your transformation, it all begins and ends with you. And that's empowering because it means you're in control. It means you have the power to change. Start small if you need to. You don't have to take massive leaps right away. Choose one thing, just one area of your life where discipline is lacking, and commit to changing it. Maybe it's waking up earlier, exercising, reading, or spending less time on distractions. Whatever it is, start today. Start now. Make the decision that you're no longer going to settle for less than you're capable of, because you are capable of so much more than you realize. This is your moment. This is your opportunity to take control of your life and steer it in the direction you want to go. Don't wait for the perfect time. There is no perfect time. Don't wait for motivation. It comes and goes. What lasts is the discipline you build through consistent effort. The longer you wait, the further away your dreams become. But every action you take brings them closer, step by step. And here's the thing about discipline. It's not always easy. There will be days when it feels hard, when the excuses seem louder than the drive inside you. But those are the days that matter most. Those are the moments when your discipline is tested and strengthened. Push through them. Keep going, because on the other side of that resistance is progress, growth, and the life you've been working toward. I want you to imagine your future self, the version of you who stayed disciplined, who didn't give up, who showed up every day, even when it was difficult. What does that version of you look like? What does that version of you feel like? Hold on to that vision. Use it as your anchor. Every time you feel like quitting, remind yourself of what you're working toward and why it matters. That future version of you is waiting, but you have to take the steps to meet them. Success doesn't belong to the most talented or the luckiest. It belongs to the most disciplined. It belongs to the person who wakes up every day and puts in the work. It belongs to the person who takes responsibility for their actions, their time, and their choices. It belongs to you if you're willing to claim it. Remember this, the life you want is on the other side of discipline. It's not something you wish for. It's something you work for. And every moment is an opportunity to move closer to it. Don't let another day go by without taking action. Don't let another opportunity pass without showing up for yourself.